Hey, Wayne Defrancesco here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And I was looking today at Jim Furyk's swing. He just won the tournament the other day, and he's got some very interesting action. Thought it'd be nice to watch, see what he was doing. I've got two swings here. Got one from about 5 years ago, and one from the tournament, Sunday's round, which was yesterday. And I think you'll find that the action is similar, but he's made a few changes over the last batch of years. So if we look at the first swing, I think this is from '05 or so. I think what you'll see here is a swing that's a little bit more radical as far as how it worked up to the top. So I think the thing that defines how he moves and the reason why his swing took the form that it did was that when he takes it back and leaves the face down at the ground and then continues to take it with the face down, if you tried that yourself, I think you might end up with the club heading in the direction that he gets it. It's almost impossible to move the right arm and when the wrist and hand are in this type of action. If there's no rotation in the face, which means there isn't any rotation in the left arm or the right forearm, then you really don't have any place to go with that right arm and shoulder. So as the club got to parallel to the ground here, you can see that the shaft is beyond 90 degrees to the ground here by a little bit. And if we look at his swing from yesterday, I think you'll find that takeaway very similar, but when he got to left arm parallel, the shaft wasn't quite as vertical. So you can see it here, just slightly less than 90. So a little different. And because of that, I think you'll find that as he gets up to the top, what he's probably doing is trying to keep his left arm from tipping out over his head. You can see it cover his ear up here, and his left arm looks beyond, again, vertical, and here it's got a little different angle. So the big difference would be the angle of the upper right arm and forearm. So you can see that there's a large space underneath that right arm, and over here from his yesterday, call it his recent swing, you'll see that the right arm is more parallel to the ground, so that space isn't nearly as big. So if you can call Jim Furyk's swing compact, it's more compact now than it used to be. So from here, what you would find that in order to get the club back to the ball, he would have to move the hands and arms back this way, and that would encourage the legs to drive sort of this way, and that's what you'll see initially here. That's the pattern of movement. Now, a lot of times if people do this, the right leg will keep driving out from under them, but once he gets the club back to where he can deal with it, the right leg is going to drive inward. You can see the push of the legs is now going to go to the left, and now the hip movement becomes much more conventional. So it's done its job to get the club to reroute back between his arms, dropping down by the right arm, and now you can see that the legs are definitely now pushing more off to the left. So a little that you can see the forward knee movement initially, which leads into that loop. Then on the forward swing, because of the nature of his setup, where he was so close to the ball, and nobody stands closer to it than Furyk. Jeff Sluman might rival him a little bit, but because he stands so close to it, when he gets that pattern going, he has nowhere to go with it but have his right arm fully way back behind him. So what you'll never really see in anybody else is hitting the ball with the right arm this far trapped behind the body. That's almost completely unique amongst good players. Now, the thing that will distinguish through the ball how he's able to get through it so nicely is going to be the rotation that he uses with his upper body, facilitated by his head movement. So you can see here, this looks just like Robert Allenby, that the head stays staring straight down. There's no rightward movement at all of the head. And then in the forward swing, it's all about angling the eyes and the face to look forward well before the ball is struck. So you can see that, much like what Allenby and Sorenstam and Duvall are doing, when he looks pretty much up the fairway before he hits it, what he's able to do is produce a beautiful looking line of compression or sustain past the ball, and that allows him to put the club on the ball very consistently and control his distance. But as far as hitting the ball straight, his downswing move really doesn't have much to do with the opening plane lines, so it's just a bit of genius that he's been able to figure out how to come into the ball with the hands up, the club dropping underneath the plane, and hitting his shots, which is more of a draw pattern with an open stance. You know, it's just such a unique move. What you're looking at is a sort of a freak of nature. He's like an artist that's figured out how to paint completely differently than the rest of the world here. But certainly fun to watch. I played a practice round with him in the PGA, just me and him, and I just had such a kick out of watching him surgically attack the course and take notes. And I mean, he really is a deliberate and detailed guy who is surgical in the way he attacks the course. So a pretty cool swing, and one that has gotten a little bit more conventional over time, and it would appear that it could just sort of last forever. It's very flowing, and you know, it's not mechanical at all, but it produces a wonderful strike-through position. So there's Jim Furyk for you, and thanks for watching.